You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same.
I'm not ready to end the fight. I'm not ready to back down. 'Cause I've been through hell and I don't have time to go round and round and round. It's too late to turn back now. You know I wouldn't if I could. 'Cause I'm proud as hell. I can't bring myself to do what it is you think I should.
All right. right, folks. Well, happy Thursday evening. That's right. We are one day away from Friday. Hope you guys are enjoying the new home right here on KLRNradio.com. Glad to have JD and Stacy back live with us this evening, even if JD does need to edit his commercial roles. Just saying. Just saying. All right, so I have Jen with us this evening, and we are going to be focusing on the raging dumpster fire that is our election cycle, Dumpster Fire 2016. Good evening, Miss Jen. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Just, another day of watching everything be like a world that I didn't think could be real. Pretty much.
Were you ever a sci-fi fan when you were younger?
I guess I watched some stuff. I wasn't like totally into a genre, but it definitely is.
Well, no, I'm just curious because there's an old show that I used to watch. It was probably early 20s for me, so I don't know. You were probably like still 4. It was called Sliders. Basically, it was this concept that delved into the Einstein-Rosenberg bridge, which, for those of you who don't know, is a postulate that if we could open one of those, we could actually travel between dimensions. I'm starting to wonder if at some point when I go to sleep, I just somehow travel the bridge and wake up in a completely different alternate Earth that's just a little bit weirder than the one that I left before, because it just seems like every day we just slide just a little bit more into absurdity. I mean, it's insane.
Right.
And this whole election cycle is making it even worse. I mean, I never in a million years thought that I would live in a country where I'm looking at the two main political parties going, you two are no different than each other, and you've been playing us now for at least the last 16 years, if I really stop and look at it. And it's just insane that we've let things get this far. Because there is no way that you can't tell me there is not collusion going on behind the scenes between the two parties at this point, because there is no way that Donald Trump is not playing a caricature right now. There is no flipping way that he's not doing these things on purpose. Nobody could be this stupid. It's just not possible, at least I would hope not.
Right. You wouldn't think so, or not like in such a, robust way. I mean, just the day after day, and if he could just stop talking for 1 second. Someone had said in one of our DM groups something like, all he had to do, because of who Clinton is and how unlikable she is, all any candidate had to do, but especially Trump because of who he is, all they had to do was not act like an uninstitutionalized mental patient and foam at the mouth in that way, and the Republicans win this thing easily. But instead, we have to have like a third grade bully on the playground for a presidential candidate instead.
Yeah, back to the whole thing, the biggest thing all week, if you look, his campaign is in full meltdown mode. Right now, Corey Lewandowski is like, oh, thank God he fired me.
Definitely.
And what's his name? Paul Manafort is like, dude, just somebody shoot me. Just please. There's a gun.
And he's just slipping up. You can just see him cracking apart at the seams, slipping yesterday, saying that he would he'd be supporting Paul Ryan for president. So obviously his brain's a little mush at the moment.
That's kind of every day. So, the interesting thing, and we kind of touched on this Tuesday, but it kind of ties into one of the first things I wanted to talk about. So Tuesday, we talked about the fact that Trump basically had a crying child removed from his most recent rally. Well, there were a group of folks that were at a rally of his today, I think it was today, and they held up pocket constitutions. And when they held up those pocket constitutions, the first thing Trump saw was... So he just had to have them removed. Literally, people were standing at a rally of his holding up the Constitution. The crowd was booing, and he had them removed for holding up pocket constitutions. Now, I have a question, because when I mentioned this on Twitter, a lot of the Trumpers were like, well, they were imitating that Muslim Khan. Even if they were, They were holding up pocket constitutions. Why would you boo anyone for holding up a constitution if you're supposed to be a Republican?
Well, that was the real thing, was when it was like, oh, it's because he was imitating that Muslim. And I'm like, wait, are you kidding? So we're going to boo people for standing up with a constitution, even if they were imitating him, like, it's our Constitution. And they weren't protesting loudly. They weren't shouting. They weren't interrupting. All they were doing was standing there silently, holding their pocket Constitution up, of which we all know there are multiple conservative organizations. You can get one for free just for signing up for their email list. So it's just astounding that is now an insult and is now a reason to be removed from a Republican rally. It's outrageous.
It's just crazy. I mean, dude, like just yesterday, Rush Limbaugh was celebrating because in Kansas, the sitting was either a senator or congressman, I think it was congressman, was primaried by someone who was actually a Trump supporter. And the guy that was the sitting member was removed in the primary. And because that guy was never Trump, Rush was doing victory laps yesterday, talking about how great it was and then how the politicians didn't understand how this election cycle was going to go and that it was all about the will of the American people. And I'm just thinking, what the hell? Since when does the supposed grand poobah of conservatism actually take a victory lap when someone who actually is a conservative gets taken off at the knees?
Yeah, it's been kind of sickening to watch these supposed conservative commentators or pundits or whatever you want to call them, and then also listen to the radio hosts that are at this point, and I don't know when we turned into this type of crowd or this type of party that we say, suck it up, bend over, stand in line, all that kind of thing. The whole idea behind conservatism has always been, changing hearts and minds and getting people to understand freedom and, understand liberty, understand limited government, understand all of those things that a true democratic free society should embrace. And instead they want to bully us, they want to shame, they want to beat people over the head, and they want to punish those that do not bow and kiss the ring. And it's so decidedly anti-Republican that it's just it's astounding to see. And that it's not just the fringe Twitter folks. I mean, it's actually happening with people, like you said, Rush Limbaugh. It's crazy.
Dude, it's even worse than that. I just saw a tweet that I never thought in a million years that I would see. Dr. Kelly Ward has adopted the Trump hashtag. And she was just tweeting out that, well, hang on, let me see if I still have it pulled up, because I have to admit, it actually really kind of made me a little angry. Hang on, let me see. It doesn't work very well on the computer. I like it on my phone because when I click on one on my phone that's been like favorited by somebody else, it'll actually take me back to the original tweet, and then I can just kind of read up from there. But anyway, so basically she was slamming the Never Trump crowd and talking about how the Never Trump crowd was being used by the elites. And I'm all like, hey, Dr. Ward, I've always supported you against McCain, and even if I lived in Arizona, I probably would have voted for you. But you have to understand something. What you're saying is completely false. The establishment were the ones that body blocked for Trump in the middle of the RNC. Everybody saw it. Everybody heard it when they were calling for the floor vote. Even people that like Trump were like, it kind of sounded more like the people that wanted the floor vote were a little louder. I'm not sure what just happened there. And they just got ignored. And it's crazy that we live in a time, because we've seen this happen over the last several years. Each time we lose an election cycle, the pundits and the talking heads come back on and they start talking about how we need to be more like the Democrats. We need to unite behind whoever is actually the nominee at the time, regardless of the consequences, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So in other words, they want hive mind and sheeple, the same thing that they accuse the Democrats of being when they rally behind their person, even if their person is completely toxic for the country. Obama, and now about to be Hillary. And it's scary, because I didn't think that's what this party stood for. I thought we were supposed to be able to disagree and still do so civilly. I'm so tired of being called names. At this point, I'm a man without a party, so I'm willing at this point to go to war with both. Because the Libertarian Party really doesn't want me either, but I'm sticking with them at least for this cycle because I want to make sure that Oklahoma gets to keep that choice. After that, I'm not sure where I'm going to be, because they don't really want conservatives in their ranks either, and that's becoming more and more apparent the more of them that I talk to. Because when I tell them, hey, I'm just kind of a displaced conservative, is all of a sudden, oh my God, you're a conservative? We don't want your kind around here. That's not what we're about. And it's just terrifying that...
Yeah, that's been a problem for a long time. I mean, I think that there have been a lot of people... I think that's what started the rise of the Tea Party in a way, which then got taken over a little bit by the evangelical side of things, maybe a little too much for the more conservatarian person's liking. But that's kind of what gave rise to that, is because libertarians, though all freedom-loving and this and that, have quite often expressed disdain for, actual conservatives. So, yeah, we're an ideology without a party at the moment.
And look, I don't know. Maybe we're like the old folks in the room, and we just need to realize it's time to crawl off in a hole and die somewhere. Maybe that's truly what this is. I don't know. But what I do know is until I don't have a voice anymore, I'm not going to stop telling people what I believe. And that's why I started all of this, and I'm sure not going to stop just because apparently my party, or what used to be my party, has moved on without me. I think the scariest thing is I see all of these talking heads talking about populism and nationalism and all these things that are actually really terrifying words, but they keep wrapping them up in really pretty bows and selling them to the American people like this is the new future of the GOP. Yes, Laura Ingraham, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I had to actually have someone tell me what it was that they were all up in arms about, because I can't see her tweets because she blocked me, because I'm such a sweet little angel, and all I did was tweet her one time about her principles and what she sold, how much she sold her integrity for. Nothing mean, just a question. And I was blocked, so I never see any of her stuff online. But yeah, she has. So some people have not surprised me that they've always kind of tended to lean a little populist. Greta Van Susteren is kind of populist. She's always been that way. Someone like Laura Ingraham, though, really surprised me. And for a woman, a young woman conservative, and as I was in college and I was attending Young America's Foundation conventions and really getting hit over the head by all of my liberal friends in a very liberal city at an extremely liberal university, she was someone that I looked up to, and it's just been utterly disappointing to have her sit there and scold a huge portion of the conservative movement and of the Republican Party, saying that, nationalism and populism is the future of the GOP. Get used to it or get out. And she sold her soul, and that's sick. And it's really disappointing, because she was definitely someone that was kind of a role model for years and years for me coming up in the conservative movement.
I just don't get it. And I was actually talking to some folks because I don't know if it would, and I told folks this yesterday. I went to the doctor, had some test run, got some x-rays done, got put on a bunch of new stuff. One of the things they did was give me a steroid shot, and all of a sudden I felt like Superman for about the last 36 hours. So I don't know if that was part of it last night or not, but after I got done with the show, I went on like an 8-tweet rant to Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh, and even threw her in there a couple of times, and people were picking up on it and started talking about it back and forth. And I think the thing that honestly annoys me the most about all of these people that have suddenly seemed to have turned their back on their principles, all for what appears to be more fame and more money, don't even need the fame or the money in the first place, because they're already very well-known people who are very well off and probably could retire now if they wanted to and never have to do anything again in their lives. I don't understand being in that type of a position where you've built yourself a brand on telling the American people what you told them was your version of the truth. I mean, look, I never tell anybody that I have all of the answers. That's not what my job is here. My job is to make you think. But the one thing that I will never do, is tell you with 100% certainty that I know who you should be voting for and why you should be voting for them, because that's not my place. And there are too many in this cycle that have done just that. Well, you have no choice but to vote for this one, because if you don't vote for this one, you're helping that one. And the scariest thing is the Democrats are really scared this time. They're terrified, because I hear them saying the same thing that we have said for the last 3 cycles. Well, if you don't vote for Romney, you're voting for Obama. If you don't vote for Trump, you're voting for Hillary. They're doing the same thing on their side. If you don't vote for Hillary, then you're voting for Trump. Don't split your vote. Don't go vote for Warren. Don't do a write-in vote for Sanders. You have to vote for Hillary or we're going to get Trump. I mean, they always say that, you know, if everybody is unhappy, then you've probably made the right choice. This is the one time that's not possible, because nobody wants Hillary on that side, or nobody wants Hillary over here. Nobody wants Trump over there. So they're all using the same rhetoric. Well, if you don't vote for this one, you're going to be stuck with that one. I don't even understand where that logic even started coming into play, because that's completely insane. That would, again, and I've used this analogy before, but it would be like saying that because I bought Dr. Pepper, I've supported both Coke and Pepsi. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, I do think, you know, some of it plays off of the fear, which has almost always affected the Republican Party and not others. When we had some major third-party runners like a Perot, you know, who really did take away a significant chunk of Republican voters for a third party, when if everybody had been united under, you know, the Republican Party and that nominee, then we beat the Democrat. It's such a dicey, touchy subject about the ins and outs of all of that, though. It's not that simple. It's not that simple to say, if you don't vote for this, you're voting for that. If you don't support this, then you obviously support that. Our voting system, the Electoral College, and the way in which every state works is so much more complex than for that simple answer to be true.
And it all comes back to the same thing. We have way too many people in this country that don't understand how and why our processes work the way they work. I mean, because, I don't know, I keep flashing back to the 2000 election when they kept showing the popular vote, and Gore had actually won the popular vote, but Bush still carried the election. And I remember all the Democrats talking about how this wasn't fair, that it was subverting the will of the people, that Gore actually won the popular vote, he should be president, etc. And all the conservatives pointed and laughed and said, oh, you stupid people don't even understand how this works. And now we're doing the same thing. It wasn't that long ago. We're talking like complete party meltdown in 16 years. Complete. We're not even anywhere near the same party that we were before. We've been so co-opted and so shaped with this spirit of fear that we're never going to be able to win an election again, that they're willing to do whatever it takes to put somebody with an R behind their name in the White House, even if that person isn't even necessarily a conservative. And it annoys me that we've gotten to this point, that we're so afraid that we're never going to win another election, that we're willing to sell our soul to get there.
Which is not something I'm willing to do. Which is, you know, we've talked about this before, but there have been plenty of candidates in the past that I've not been 100% behind. But I could hold my nose, or I could roll my eyes at a few things here or there. I could hope that we could put, people in Congress that would more uphold, you know, some of the ideals and just more of the values or principles of a more hardline conservative movement. But this goes so far beyond that, and we've all covered this, but it goes so far beyond than holding your nose or looking the other way on a few issues. It's so outrageously against any rationale for a true conservative to support the Cheeto Jeebas. So
Cheeto Jeebas. That has to be my third favorite. Of course, Lord Cheesy Poof is my first favorite because I came up with that one. My second favorite I actually heard through who did I hear that from? Road Beer. Was borrowing one from somebody else, and I can't remember who he said he got it from, but he was like hashtagging Emperor Hero Cheeto. I was like, oh my god, that's so funny. He's like, I can't take credit for it, it's not mine. It's like, but it's still hilarious. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, and the thing with it is, and I'm actually not doing that tonight when I go on by myself, because I keep making a promise that I'm going to start paying more attention to the other side of the aisle for a while. But every time I think I can get away from it, something crazy goes on in the news, and I'm right back to talking about Trump again. And I actually played something last night as a joke because I kept telling everybody that last night was going to be the first part of the series I'm going to start running on Hillary probably a couple times a week. And I pulled up the every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in clip, and I kept playing it last night because it's like, dude, every time I think I'm going to be able to stop talking about this guy, he just steps right back in it again, and he's all over the news all the time. And the sad thing is, I think he really has figured out for him there's no such thing as negative press, because the people that are going to vote for him are still going to vote for him anyway. I never in a million years thought that we would see a time when someone as vile as Hillary Clinton, with all of the different scandals that she has been embroiled in and all of the different things that she has managed to actually get away with in her lifetime, that we know she has gotten away with in her lifetime, this most recent one being the FBI standing in front of a camera telling the world everything that she did wrong, and saying, but there's not enough for us to do anything, so nothing to see here, folks, move along. And now all of a sudden we have put someone up who has a worse negative perceived rating than Hillary Clinton. How the hell is that even possible?
Well, you just take a bunch of angry people plus a bunch of not so well informed people plus a bunch of racist people plus a bunch of scared to death people together, and you capitalize and manipulate their emotions a la Trump. And that's how we lose to Clinton.
So I have a question, and this is an honest question. This isn't one of my funny questions. This isn't one of my trying to be a smart aleck questions. Serious question. Who has ever made good life choices when they were really, really angry? Show of hands. Anyone? Bueller? Kind of what I thought. I don't understand how we got here. All right, so when we come back, we've got a couple of the things we want to talk about. We are going to change gears. We have the gaffe heard around the world today. Hillary Clinton may or may not have slipped up. We kind of disagree on this one because I edit things for a living, and I'm almost positive I heard a T, but then I went back and listened to it again. I'm like, who knows? So we're going to play it when we come back, and we'll let you decide. And then I found some other Hillary's greatest hits. Maybe we'll touch on those. If not, I'll save them for the next hour when I'm doing this all by my lonesome. But at this point, folks, we have got to pay some bills. When we come back, more of the Jen and Rick Show right here on KLRNradio.com.
You know I wouldn't if I could, 'cause I'm proud as hell. I can't bring myself to do what it is you think I should.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of a short story through to line edits of a full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Hell, I can't bring myself to do what it is you think I should.
All right, folks, we're back. We're live. And, hey, we were talking during the break. I think maybe we made one of those Einstein-Rosenberg bridge jumps that I was talking about at the beginning of the show, because I just found something that somehow I've missed, so we're going to have to touch on it real quick. But we are going to move on to some other stuff because I'm getting really tired of talking about Trump. But this has to be talked about. Donald Trump's campaign website is broken. So if you haven't given any money to him yet, don't. Because apparently you get, if you sign up for recurring donations, which I'm not sure who would give a recurring donation to a campaign, but hey, more power to you. You can't cancel it, so don't do it. You have to either call them and say, hey, I only really wanted them to have this once, so I don't really give them permission anymore. Or you have to call the card company still and say, hey, cancel my card, give me a new one, because I just got bilked by the Donald, which is probably closer to the truth.
And apparently the FEC is saying they don't have rules explicitly about the cancellation of recurring campaign contributions. So a spokesperson said, our regulations do not speak specifically to that issue. The only way problems with recurring donations would trigger an investigation was if the total added up to more than the federally mandated maximum donation of $2,700. This is so, and actually, so this source that we got the link from actually shows, screen caps of what you do and how you sign up for this stuff. And then it also does a comparison with Hillary Clinton's, just in case it was like, well, but that's how all campaigns do it. And it's not. There's a very clear remove card, cancel donation section on Hillary's site, whereas there is not anything like that on Trump's site. All you can do is update your card, which will not allow you to put in a fake credit card number, and it won't let you remove it. You just have to still put in a valid number. And then you have to, like we said, you have to call your company. And the Trump campaign has apparently not answered people's requests for this, as they've reached out to them wanting them to correct this situation. So just once again, here we go, Don the Con.
Dude, dude, he's
but
like...
We can't make this crap up. We just can't make it up.
I don't even know what to say anymore. I really don't. I mean, because every time I think there is no possible way this could get any more insane, it just goes just one more tick further down the line, and I'm just going, this has got to be where the crazy stops, right? And there's going to be just as more tomorrow. I mean, his whole group is like planning this intervention. The scariest thing is, and I thought I had it saved. I really thought I did. Actually, I do. I'll probably tweet it out here in a minute. So there is a cartoon that I saw yesterday that has like the Republicans standing behind Donald Trump. You remember how we used to always make fun of Crazy Uncle Joe and show they had cartoons of him with the Hannibal Lecter mask on so he wasn't out running his mouth? They're doing it to the Donald. He's got two guys in black suits standing behind him, and he's on the little stretcher with the black bands and the crazy coat and the Hannibal Lecter mask, and it's like, but we still support the nominee, while they've got him completely to the point where he can't move, can't speak, can't do anything but look there like he's just crazy, because he is. And we had one job, America. All we had to do was put somebody up that could beat Hillary Clinton. That was our job. That was what we were supposed to do, because Hillary Clinton doesn't deserve to be president either. She's just as bad.
Let's be clear.
Did you really just say, let's be clear?
Yeah. I say it every time that we talk about Hillary Clinton and distinguishing it from Donald Trump, because I like to use his language. Apparently it appeals. It reaches people. It has lasting effect.
Yeah, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Let me be clear.
I just feel like sometimes we spend so much time against Trump, and talking about all the ridiculousness that it can come off like I don't want anybody to forget that we absolutely do not support Hillary, nor do we think that she is fit to be president either. It's just that we have such a horrible choice for what should have been our party, someone that we would have to defend. But he's indefensible, so that's that.
So for anyone who thinks for even a split second that Hillary Clinton would make a sane choice for president, I want to remind you of something. She actually was barking at one of her rallies not too long ago. So yeah, our guy's nuts. I give you that. I don't want him there. I don't want him anywhere near the nuclear launch codes either. Especially since apparently Joe Scarborough, the token Republican on NBC or MSNBC, is swearing up and down that he has unconfirmed sources that keep saying that Donald Trump keeps asking everybody why we can't use our nuclear weapons. I really, for the love of God, hope that is not a true statement, for one, which is why we haven't really covered it much, because I haven't been able to find anything to corroborate it other than Joe the token Republican. And I'm not sure if it's token or toking, but I guess it really doesn't matter. I don't know how we got here. And then today, she's in the middle of a speech, right? She's talking about how, Donald Trump wants to cut the taxes on the rich, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it goes a little something like this.
Because while Warren is standing up for a fairer tax code, Trump wants to cut taxes for the super rich. Well, we're not going there, my friends. I'm telling you right now, we're going to write fairer rules for the middle class, and we are going to raise taxes on the middle class.
Now, I would swear I heard a very subtle T there, but every time I listen to it, it gets fainter and fainter, so I'm not exactly sure.
No, I first saw the clip. Someone posted it somewhere that I ended up getting tagged in or something, or it was in a DM. I can't even remember. But and I first saw the clip and I went, and it was cut to where it was just that sentence. Just said, like, we are going to raise taxes on the middle class. And it was like, what in the world? But immediately I was like, she either misspoke or something's being taken out of context, or, it was just, while I do think that the Democrats absolutely want to raise taxes on the middle class, no one is going to campaign on that point, especially not Hillary Clinton. She's not that stupid. So I didn't think that was actually what it was supposed to be, but it was very interesting. Like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw the shortened one first, and I was like, there is no way that she actually said that. So I went and looked, and I found the longer clip, and I'm like, I think even if it sounds like an R, if you put it in the context of everything else that she said, I'm pretty sure that wasn't necessarily what she meant to say. And look, I don't want her to be president any more than I want him to be president. And the scary thing is, we are literally looking at the choice between a criminal and the criminally insane. You take your pick, because I'm not sure which one's which.
Pretty much. So, anyways, that's a controversy, but it did give a little bit of pause and was pretty funny to be like, uh-oh, Freudian slip there much?
Well, because I'd kind of figured out that was probably going to be, as you like to call it, a controversy. I kind of like that. I may start using that once in a while. I did find one of her older clips that I thought we could talk about, because this stance is a little interesting.
We're going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business, right? Got to move away from coal and all the other fossil fuels.
Sounds like she's got some big plans in store for the economy. Kind of like tanking it.
Yeah, my husband comes from a state that very heavily relies on coal for employment. So it's in an area that is already impoverished and hit very hard with low literacy rates and just ways of living are just so diminished compared to many parts of the country. And one of their only reliances is on the coal industry for employment. It would utterly destroy and decimate these areas.
But Jen, climate change. We got to do it for the earth. We have to be good stewards, and coal is bad for the environment, Jen. Come on, get on board the climate change train. Come on, you know you want. Dude, sorry, I've been hanging around.
Was it G in our KLRN chat that was like, sure, the climate change is here 4 times a year.
Yeah, it was about the same time that I'd see when I was doing that. I was kind of mimicking Bryce, because anytime Bryce and I get in this conversation, he starts talking about how bad climate change and how I'm a climate change denier.
I just thought it was funny that he thought it was like a good idea to call you out in a chat room full of mostly conservatives and say climate change denier, and everyone's like, yeah.
I just told him point blank, I don't deny climate change. I call it weather.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, but yeah, fun times. The interesting thing about Bryce, though, is he's, for being recently graduated high school, the kid's already been elected to political office. I don't know if you knew about that, but
yes, I did know that. It's pretty crazy.
And he's about to go to college, and actually he's going to be on the same campus with our very own Jackson Richmond, which should be interesting. Maybe Jackson can steer him a little more towards the conservative side. The funny thing is, though, if you ever have time, what you should do, honestly, is go back to like his very first episode and listen to one of his last couple of episodes. He doesn't realize how far he's already come around to my way of thinking just from me being in his ear every week. He actually told me the other day, because you know, for his last year in high school, I was actually one of his instructors. So I would give him a homework assignment, and the last one for the last time that he had to do anything for it to count as the class, I told him, I said, I want you to go back and listen to the very first episode of Finding Common Ground that we ever did together, and then I want you to go back and listen to the last one, and then I want you to write out for the teacher that actually grades the work for you there what the differences are. He came back like 2 weeks later, and he was like, I hate you. Like, what do you mean you hate me? He said, I realize just how much I'm starting to sound like you, and it's your fault because you're in my ear every weekend on Saturday mornings, and even my friends are starting to say that I don't sound the same anymore, and I'm sorry if my ideas make sense.
Exactly.
But yeah, so fun times. He's a pretty good kid, though, all the way around. Honestly, I think he's probably closer to the future of what we're looking at than much of anything, because it's more fiscally conservative, socially liberal, except for the climate change thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's even where kids that are conservative, that's kind of how it's leaning also.
Oh, I don't even know if we're going to have a future at this point, because if either one of these idiots get a hold of the launch codes, you know we're going to glow in the dark, right?
Yeah. Did you read, there was someone tweet storm yesterday who actually used to be one of the guys that dealt with actually pushing the buttons. And he went on why it's so dangerous. Just even him mentioning that the balance that we hang in, that we're always in a kind of nuclear Cold War. And so the balance that we hang in, depends exactly on the fact that like everyone knows no one else will do it. And if you do, then everybody dies, kinds of thing. And that just even mentioning why we should not hold back with nukes and such can disrupt the balance, can threaten those other countries, and can, change the trajectory of nuclear warfare. So I thought it was really interesting and also frightening to think about either one of them with the codes.
Again, I keep coming back to the same idea. Look, even if you think Hillary Clinton is the best choice for the country, which if you think that, I don't want to ever be inside your head, ever, not even one time. I don't understand, with everything that she's done and everything that and again, everything she's gotten away with, how she could be where she is right now. I don't understand how we have gotten to the point where common sense just doesn't even seem to exist any longer. It's like we all live in this vacuum, and it just seems insane that we've actually gotten to this point to where we literally are looking at either putting someone in the Oval Office who is completely nuts, or putting someone in the Oval Office who is a complete criminal. And I got to tell you, the thing that scares me more about Hillary Clinton possibly having access to things like the IRS and all of the other things that even Obama has used so poorly over the last 8 years is the fact that she, again, much like Trump, understands the power that Obama's been wielding that he didn't really understand how to use for the first 4 years. she's going to understand it from the jump because she was quietly watching everything that her husband did and very tacitly involved in all of it in one way or the other, and at some points was even taking the forefront, as in the medical coverage issues that she was trying to deal with. And she's already even said behind closed doors that if she becomes president, some of this stuff Bill's going to be helping with, which is unprecedented and unheard of, to put the first man whore in charge of all the things that a president's supposed to do. Which, interestingly enough, on the other side of the equation, they're talking about doing the same thing with Pence. Pence is actually supposed to be the one doing the day-to-day running of the country, and Trump is going to be out making America great again by building up its brand.
Pence, who stepped out of line by endorsing Paul Ryan after Trump didn't endorse him, but then went, whoa, let's wait a second, let's wait. I totally got permission from Trump first. Like, don't you worry. Like, we totally talked to him, told him I wouldn't endorse him if that would make him mad. But Trump's a good guy, so Trump said it's cool, so I endorsed him because I'm a man.
I'm a man. I'm 40. Oh wait, if you're not from here,
what? It's so ridiculous that he would need Trump's. Oh goodness gracious, it's so dumb.
Well, dude, that was like this. That was like the 60-minute interview that they did. Because remember, they weren't going to do the interview because of all the things going on in Paris, and then they weren't going to make the announcement. And then Trump, after he told all of his team to stand down, we're not doing it, put out a tweet, and the team's like, you said we weren't doing this. So they got completely flat-footed. So they've actually been getting more and more frustrated with him for a while. But on the 60 Minutes interview, they asked Pence a question. And when it was Pence's turn to answer the question, he looked at Trump, and Trump was like, no, it's all right. You can tell him. I'm like, really? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's an authoritarian. He doesn't know how to rule other than like one. So that's part of why he's so scary and threatening
It's part of why everybody likes him so much. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's not a true statement. All right, so just to recap, we are currently watching a dumpster that is really on fire, and every time we think the fire's about out, somebody throws some more crap in it and starts it raging again. I'm pretty sure by now you can see the fire from space, and that is our election cycle. We've kind of been taking semi-equal shots at both sides tonight. A little bit better job than usual lately, because, I don't know, to me, and everybody gets mad at me for this. I even get talked to from folks, and they're like, you're always spending so much time talking about Trump. And I'm like, it's because it epitomizes everything that's wrong with the party that I used to love. So, yeah, pardon me if I obsess.
And because he's just cannot help but stay out of one even partial news cycle. Just like you said, even in this show, like something comes through. This just, makes your jaw drop. So it's just hard not to... Oh, it's just hard. Just hard not to talk about him so much.
Just makes it so easy. All right, well, we're about out of time, believe it or not. Miss Jen, why don't you remind folks where it is that they can interact with you should they choose to do so?
Sure. I am Jay Homestead on Twitter, JR Homestead on Facebook, and then come check out some smart people writing fun things, including today was a thing about how we're all arguing over cargo shorts and flip-flops and raisins or no raisins and cookies and salads and all sorts of other funny things that I think a lot of the never Trumpers are kind of getting into because we're just so sick of politics and of so much more serious arguments that we've kind of devolved into these like Twitter wars over nothingness. That's really kind of funny. So head over to misfitpolitics.weebly.com and you can read a pretty funny article there about that.
All right, and as always, you can interact with me several different ways. You can shoot me an email at ricky@thesparkradionetwork.com. You can shoot me an email at rick@klrnradio.com. You can hang out with me on Twitter, best bet, actually, AOTR_host. I'm pretty much on there all the time because it's on my phone. You can hang out on Facebook. You can like the America Off the Rails Facebook page, and I promise at some point over the next couple of weeks I will get a Jen and Rick Facebook page put together once I get done with all the intricacies of the launch for KLRN. And, of course, you can also shoot a friend request to my professional profile, Rowdy Ricky Robinson. All you got to do is pop into the search. It'll come right up. I will be live with you here again in just a couple minutes. We're going to change gears, move over to the America Off the Rails show. And then after that, we do have the Rhino Report. And then, of course, we start over again tomorrow morning with God's Pure Word of Faith, and then we go straight into the Conservative Commando radio show, and then after that, I'm not sure where we go. Right now, we've got a few folks we're looking at. We actually, unfortunately, did have to pull the Rod Eckel show. I know I've been getting some feedback on that. Some of you weren't happy. I'm sorry. He was not notifying us when he was not going to be doing a show, and we wound up spending 3 hours broadcasting music from his sole distribution point now, which happens to be a Christian radio station that plays a lot of music when he's not on the air. So I kept getting yelled at for playing music, so we had to stop. Alright, so anyway, that's going to do it for this particular episode. Again, I am Rick Robinson, and this has been the Jenn and Rick Show, and we will be back with you next Tuesday. It'll be here before you know it. Sadly enough, that means Monday has to come first, but on the good news, tomorrow is Friday. Just saying.
Round and round, it's too late to turn back now. You know I wouldn't if I could, 'cause I'm proud as hell. I can't bring myself to do what it is you think I should.
Oh yeah, and before I forget, and then we'll play the commercials, Jess's POV will actually be on at a special time tomorrow at 11 a.m. She was having some issues in her corner of the world and couldn't get things spun up properly, so she's going to do the show for you guys tomorrow morning, so make sure you check that out then. And on that note, folks, we truly are out. It's been a great night. Take care. God bless. We'll see you when we see you.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.